2 of the hips and hamstrings series that I'm doing. I'll mention a couple props that you might want to use for the seated sequence. First and foremost is a cushion or even a yoga block to sit on. Most people with hamstrings and hips that are on the tight side find sitting on the floor can be quite uncomfortable and can cause like a rounding in the back. So sitting on a cushion can really help alleviate that issue and help you to stretch the muscles that you want to stretch rather than just straining your back. So cushion to sit on. Also later, you want to have some kind of cushion for your knees. So I like to just use a couple washcloths. And also some kind of tie. I've got a rubber band, but it doesn't have to be a rubber band. It can be a tie, like a tie from a house coat, anything that you can wrap around your foot to help you with the forward bend. So that being said, let's get started. So take a seat and find a comfortable cross-legged position. So you want to be able to sit up nice and tall, hips are resting down into the ground, spine is light, shoulders are soft. And from here, we're going to take a forward bend. So just bring the hands in front of you and just walk yourself down. I'm going to sound like a broken record, but try to keep the spine in its natural alignment. Try not to round it. So finding your point of resistance here, you may want to just swing a little side to side, just nice and gentle, inviting the hips to release a little. And as you exhale, maybe going a little deeper. And then finding that final deep stretch and take a couple breaths. Good. And then walk yourself back up. Breath here. And then we're going to switch the legs. So whatever leg you had crossed to the back, you're going to put it to the front. And we're going to repeat that with the other leg crossed. So walking forward and drifting side to side. And paying attention to the hip sockets and imagining them softening as you come into your final deep stretch here, holding for a couple breaths. Good, and then carefully walking yourself back up. Excellent. And we're going to move into our throne stretch. So straighten your legs out and bring the heels and the soles of the feet together. And you want to make a diamond shape with your legs. Now if you're tight in the hips, your feet are going to be farther out from the body. And if you got a little more looseness, you can draw the heels in closer to the body. And then holding on to either the fronts of the shins or the ankles or maybe even the feet, you're going to just press a little bit forward, letting the torso just drift a little forward. And again, you might find this little circling side to side helps to release in the hips here. Make sure you're breathing deep. So circle, circle, good. And coming back to center, we're going to just flutter the knees a little, really gently. Good. And then again, circle forward, spine straight as you can. And then find a deeper stretch here, a little bit more forward. And we'll take a couple breaths here. And then we're going to put your imagination to work. And I want you to imagine your hip sockets here, all in and around the tops of the thighs. You want to imagine that they're made of butter or ice cream or wax, candle wax. And the sun is just heating that up and it's melting. You can feel it dripping into the ground. Really use your mind to picture that, imagine what that might feel like as you feel your hips softening. Good. And then release carefully, coming back up. Nice. And then bringing the knees together. We're going to take a hamstring stretch next. So I'm going to have you keep your right knee bent and then extend the left leg. And then you're just going to let your right knee drop open to the side so you come into this position. And if this is straining your back, even with the cushion, just let this extended leg bend a little bit. Foot is flexed. And this is where the tie might be helpful for you. You can wrap it around the foot and use that to help you come into your forward bend. For those of us who have really tight hamstrings, just sitting up straight in this position might be quite a challenge. So again, you can try bending your legs, bending your left leg rather, so that you can get a little more movement in the hips. Or you can just try sitting up straight with support of the band around your foot. And then once you have space to come into a bit of a forward bend, again, we keep the back straight, shoulders relaxed, engage the abdominals here, and hinge forward from the hips. Taking a nice deep breath. And again, side to side can be nice here to just work in to the muscles. If you find you don't need the band, you can just put your hands alongside your leg. Good. Circling down and back, down and back. Good. And then find your final deep stretch here. We'll take a couple breaths. Good. And then walk yourself up. Let this leg come out to the side a little and just roll side to side, turning the leg out. Turning the leg all the way in and out and in and out and in. Good. Once more. And in. Good. And then one final forward bend here. Big breath. And release. Good. And now we'll do the other side. Drawing the left knee in, the knee drop open, right leg extended. So again, if you want to grab your tie, wrap that around. And we'll start with our side to side, just gently circling forward. But like I said, if you're very tight, just stand up, sit up straight in this position. Abdominals stay lifted here to support the back. Good. Now find your deep stretch. Couple deep breaths. buttery, melting hips here. Good. And walking back up. Good, let the right leg drift out to the side a little. Turn in and turn it out. And your hips can do whatever they want here. This is a nice free movement. Really good for loosening up the hip joint and the hamstrings too. Good, last time here. And back to our forward bend position. We're going to take one more deep forward bend. Inhale. Exhale, fold forward. Deep breath. And back up. Excellent. All right, moving on. We'll give the legs a little wiggle out. And we're going to take our pigeon pose, one of my favorite yoga poses. So I'm going to demonstrate it to you from the side. We're going to be beginning from hands and knees. And you're going to tuck your left knee up in towards your chest and then carry it through using your arms and abdominals to support you. Bring it between the hands. And you can see here that my left heel comes under my right hip. It is a pretty deep stretch for the hips. So if it's too much, take your cushion and you're going to put it under your left thigh slash butt slash hip. Okay, so that'll give you a little bit of relief from the stretch. So once we're here, you can either just stay in this position and try to keep shoulders down, chest lifted, or if you'd like a little deeper, come down onto your elbows and just relax here for a few breaths. Good, and keeping that spine nice and long, walk yourself back up and stay here. If this is too much, we're going to do a quad stretch here by bringing the right heel in towards your right butt cheek. And if you can, maybe you could even grab a hold of the ankle and the foot and draw that heel in even a little more. And you're going to get a really nice stretch in the front of that hip. And it's also a nice back bend as well. As you can see, my back is round. So if you're feeling a lot of tightness and compression in the lower back, then you should probably come out of this pose. Another way to help with the low back is to press down into your legs so that your hips lift up a little off the mat. Good, and let's release that side. Exhale, back to hands and knees. Just take a little breather in child's pose. I like to rock side to side here. It feels nice. And then back to hands and knees. This time drawing the right knee forward into pigeon. So right heel under left hip. Put your cushion in if you need. And then when you're ready, fold forward onto your elbows. And just relax here. Again, a great time to imagine the hips and the upper thighs melting into the ground. Shoulders soft, neck relaxed. Breathe a lot into the back. Good. And then walking back up, getting ready for full pigeon. So bending the heel in towards the buttocks. Grab that foot. And remember, you can press up a little if it's feeling really tight in the low back. Good. And then release. Child's pose. Good. So we've got 2 more stretches for you. We're going to take our wide angle stretch. So coming back onto our cushion and spreading the legs in a V. So for some of us, again, if the hamstrings and the hips are very tight, just sitting in this position is going to be a challenge. Even with the cushion, it might be. So bring your hands behind your back and press the chest forward and up and rotate the hips forward. So you can see this is what my body wants to do, and then we have to resist that. So we use the arms to help press the body forward. And then once that becomes comfortable and you can sit up straight in this position without any trouble, then you can move on to forward bending in this position. So sometimes it's nice to put your hands on the legs as you bend forward, or you can press them, just rest them on the ground. Keeping your feet flexed here so that the legs are engaged. And again, you can try your circle side to side here. Maybe slowly coming a little deeper with your circles. Good. And then find your deep stretch and take a couple breaths. Soft shoulders, hips melting. Good. And walk yourself back up. And release. Nice. All right, for our final stretch, we're going to do the frog stretch. So this is where we'll need some cushions for the knees. So just put one under each knee. We need them to protect the knees and also because we want to slide the knees open. So you'll need to do it on some flooring where you'll have the slipperiness that you need. So you'll come to hands and knees and let the knees open to the sides, slowly sliding down. I like to come down onto my forearms. And then your legs, you can keep the knees at a 90-degree angle and flex the feet so that you look literally like a frog. Or if that's too intense for you, you can also come into more of a butterfly position with the toes sort of pointing towards each other. So this is a little more intense. This is a little bit less intense for most people. So once you find your position here, we're going to just slide back, really feel that stretch, and release forward. Slide back, exhale, inhale, release a little. Exhale, inhale, and remember supporting with the abdominals here, pressing into the forearms. You don't want to hang in the hip joints. You want to be supported. Good. And last time, press back and stay here. 3 breaths. Good. And then carefully using your abdominals and your legs, draw yourself back up. And then we're going to just take a wide child's pose to finish. So toes together, knees wide, and come down and relax. Nice. Good. You can stay in that child's pose as long as you like. All right, thanks for watching. We'll see you next time.